Okay, so this past Saturday, from when I'm filming this, was May the 20th, and me and a friend, Jeff Taylor, shot over to TNT Comics, Toons and Things in Tustin. I met him there I arrived at 1:30 in the afternoon, as I'd expected to, allowing myself to get enough rest to work a night shift. And I plan on staying 90 minutes. Right as I pulled up into a spot, the picnic tables were lined up with the tents in front of the shop. And Jeff was right in front of my truck, so I pulled up, walked up, and had a short box, and my satchel with some waters and granola bars. And after shaking hands with Jeff, who'd already looked like he made some pulls, and he'd even actually set aside some books he thought I might like, I got to digging, and I want to say it was 8 picnic tables, the big kind that break down in the center. And I think each one of those can hold the equivalent of 8 long boxes or 16 short boxes. So I want to say times 6. There was probably the equivalent of 96 short boxes on those tables. And under the tables, completely out of my reach at my age and my capacity, boxes beneath like a long box or 2 on the ground, so I wasn't getting at those. But yeah, it was great. I was just kind of showing some books to Jeff that he might like, and he was setting aside, showing me things that he knew I would think were cool. We talked some artists. I looked at some of his art, and we talked different approaches and styles and techniques that we were interested in, and it was cool. It's about 71 degrees. Some of the tables were set up where you weren't going to be under the tarp, so your back would be to the sun, but it was all right. So $1 a book. A lot of them were loose, so you had to kind of be aware to try to find decent copies, but hey, they weren't bad, you know. So this first little 3 or 4 books is Hard Case from Ultraverse. Just one of the series that I don't have more than a few issues of. I think I have multiples on issue 1, and that's it. This character is a stuntman, well, sort of a Hollywood star that doubles as an agent or a hero. That was 2, 3. Some of these were bags, so I just cut out the bags and threw the cards in the back, you know. Those poly bags are holding up a lot better than we thought they would. A long time ago, we were told to take our Death of Supermans out of their bags. But it looks like those Superman 75s are hanging in there, and the bags aren't disintegrating or biodegrading or anything. So we'll see. We'll see what's in the long haul for those polys. Is issue 4 and issue 5. Preview of Barry Windsor Smith's Rune. So I had found Wonder Years book 1 of 2 in a haul lot that I'd bought a while ago, but this is, surprisingly, I found book 2, just book 2. Art by Dan Abnett and Igor Kordy. Simon Williams is Wonder Man's alter ego, and I kid you not, every time I look at these, I'm a little surprised. I always have to do a double take. For whatever reason, call it the Wonder Woman Association. For a split second, I think that Wonder Man is DC. But yeah, you got this nice acetate. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's right there on the sheet of lined paper they're simulating. So this artist, what's his name again? I already forgot. Igor Kordy. He painted this, and this was right around the time, I'm pretty sure, that Marvel's was dropping, so this was a pretty popular format. Good old Marvel's.
Can you say anything but remarkable? Yeah! I love a Pete said. Remarkable.
And some nice paints. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that kind of wash style that Alex Ross uses, but Igor Kordy definitely marches to the beat of his own drummer. Some of these kind of... some of this art looks a little bit like it would be for children's stories, like bedtime stories, but it's not bad. I like his Cyclops Beast. That's funny. We were just talking about Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend. Anyway, I just thought this was kind of nice. And it's always kind of funny when you find exactly the issue you need and nothing more. So, Wonder Years. Wonder Years book 202. One more look at that. Found a little bit of Sam Keith. Now these were kind of just scattered around. I didn't exactly find these all bundled up. I'd see little pockets of maybe like 20 Robin books or 20 Detective Comics, and then the sort would jump into something else. So maybe these books were kind of in order. I found an entire run of Excalibur loose. Let's just say issue 2, because one was long gone. The sale had started 2.5 hours before I got there, so Excalibur 1 was dashed. But
you don't like it? Tough. I had my fun, and that's all that matters.
Look at my brother, Excalibur 2 through 8. He's just gonna leave those, no bag and board. He likes having his comics liberated, which I think is freaking cool. He just thinks it's more fun that way, and I'm inclined to agree with him. The Excalibur books, they just smelled great. They smelled like an old library. Anyhow, so there was little cubbies that you could find something of a run. But Batman Secrets, Sam Keith, Alex Sinclair has been doing finishes for Sam Keith since at least the Max 1. So, yeah, Batman Secrets 1 of 5 was gone. But here's 2 of 5. 3 of 5. This is very Arkham Asylum. So, Sam Keith was inspired by Dave McKean to some extent on this. I can relate to the brows. Here's 4 of 5. Fortified. Yeah, pretty good lighting. Like, these were loose. I don't think I didn't have any notes on those. And 5 of 5. So I hope that Jive Turkey out there is just loving his book 1 of 5 and is just tearing apart inside that he doesn't know what happens after issue 1. You got the key, Mr. Smee. Enjoy it. So much Robin. I just completed Robin 1 through like 90 And I was thinking, do I want to keep going further? And so I just kind of stuck to the Damian Scott issues. This version of Robin, this Stephanie Brown Robin, he has so much fun drawing her hair, not coloring her hair, but just with the shape of her blonde hair, that it's cool, you know? I really dug how, trying to avoid any condensation from that Topo Chico, I really liked how he got into the shape of her hair with the triangles, her little, what do you call it? Her little headband. I had girl cousins, but I don't remember what that's called. I just remember barrettes. Maybe one day I'll have daughters and I'll know all about the hair, the hair managers. Anyway, so some nice shaping on the panels. I like that round background. That looks good. Yeah, so he drew Batgirl for a while, so he just draws a good Batgirl. Very Dark Knight Batman. Of course, he draws a good Cassandra Cain. He drew her for a while. Yeah, just like that right there. That's cool to me. Prisoner of Azkaban. Anyway, so that was a nice little find. I would have liked to have found more. Early bird gets the worm. So leaving at 3, and that was pretty much perfect. Around 3, each Jeff and I had roughly pulled 50 books, which I think is a good amount. I could have probably stood to have done 100 if I basically put everything I thought looked cool in the box. I would have had 100. So this one Jeff set aside for me. Actually, he was just kind of like, hey, check this out. It's got the gem. Like, remember the gem? And I do remember the gem, but I've never actually seen the gem. So it's like, are you going to get that? And most definitely he was cool with me taking it. So interesting thing about this, we got Keith Giffen writer, Bart Sears artist, Mark Pennington inks, summer 92. I'm out of labels. I'm basically doing it Captain Strangelove style. So if you look at this, really cool. I've never actually seen this book in person. It's not a crazy book or anything, but it has a little bit of reputation for that gem. I found it interesting that in the back, right there in the G in Revenge, you can see where the issue that was behind it in the distribution box cut into the back of the book. So it just kind of got me thinking, is that Frankenweenie? Oh my God. Tim Burton's Frankenweenie. That's awesome. So it cuts all the way in between the D and O in dog. I don't know if you can see that. So it kind of stands to reason that if you wanted to have a super high grade of this book the natural way, without steam or pressure or heat, you would basically need the one that was at the bottom of the distribution box, because it wouldn't have anything cutting into the back. I'm sure there's a way to press this book, but it would be difficult to get heat. There's a way, I'm sure. It would just be tricky. You'd have to basically open it up, maybe, and just give it the iron press without getting the gem involved. These are held together with a little bit of glue. But my homie Freddy's 562 said that you can press square bound books because he's I think he said he pressed A Vengeance of Bane. So it's funny, like I'm an avid pressing non-supporter, but some of my besties press. I know Pope G.
I want to hear a
He's got
caravan with
himself
a drum
pressed.
solo.
Yeah, Freddy's 562 is like the first close friend I made in the community. So go figure, man. Birds that aren't of a feather sometimes still flock together. So Travis Charest, every time I see this book, I buy it. I buy the alpha and I buy the omega of it too. Get out of here, Topo Chico. You and your delicious droplets perspiring on my comic table. So, oh, it's so nice today. I can't tell you. I'm staying home from work because my stomach's upset. No details there, but I felt so happy to be able to film in the light of day. This whole series of videos I've been doing at night, and seems to have, early on at least, sort of had Arthur Adams thing going on.
Nice
So,
lady!
let's just say that the Arthur Adams apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Check that out. That's a sigh. I didn't even notice that. This guy's cool. So that's 4 dudes and 3 chicks. I'm assuming that's a dude. I hope so. Nice. Yeah, this is my favorite Travis Charest cover. This one's awesome. For $1, I was pretty happy about that. I was looking through the Batmans. I'm trying not to buy Detective anymore. I know it's feeble.
You dumb bastard.
I should just buy Detective Comics when I see them and like them. But I sold some Detective Comics, and I kind of said, I'm through with them.
Then one day I say, fuck fish. I renounce fish. I vow never to set foot in that ocean again. That's how much fuck fish.
I didn't want that pain of having to rebuild, so I stopped buying Detect. But Batman, I still readily buy. And I got this new camera stand that's kind of a hoax. Yeah, Charest's Azrael. That is cool. I recently shared sort of Azrael, and I don't believe Quesada implied that the mask on Azrael sort of had that texture. So that's definitely Charest kind of inventing a little bit of detail there. That's just a great Robin. So I, to this day, cannot find the episode of Roseanne where DJ Connor is reading this Batman 500 on the kitchen table. I always think it's cool. I found out recently that people do collect books that have been shown in movies. It's an acceptable form of like cover collecting. But yeah, I'm always trying to find the episode of Roseanne, the original 90s Roseanne, where little David Jacobs reading this book at the kitchen table. Nice Quesada, Kevin Nolans, and this is obviously the direct. You get these nice postcards. Hello, Mudda. Hello, Fada. Here I am at Camp Granada. And yeah, this was the SmackDown issue. At 492 was the breaking of the bat. This was the beatdown of the Bane. Look at how cool that, man. You write in your little letter to Batman, you tell him how much you're liking Jean Paul Valley, And they put up that little logo. So this is the Azrael Batman postcard. Oh man, hardcover guys.
If I go, you got to go. Somebody got to die.
This book in person, David Finch cover. I like the chains in the background. I even did like a sound cue. We were talking about Richard Friend. I still confuse David Finch with director David Fincher. And written by Paul Jenkins. So, I don't know about this character, but man, I'll tell you, I was glad to see it. I think about 5 years ago, I would see Master X Splinter showing these for $1, and I thought, man, that's cool. I'd love to snag that for $1. And cut to 2023, busted up and over the hill, but making fines. Just two of my favorite girls, Sarah Michelle Gellar and the Frizz, working together. I'll take them 2 steaks. This is a trade, actually. There was a bunch of trades, and the big to-do came out, and he started consolidating the books. He started consolidating from my short box I had there. He started consolidating those with other books, and I had to stop him. Right here was one of the trades, and there was hardcovers. There was Jack of Fables, collected edition hardcover, Fables. There was a bunch of good Vertigo stuff, like $35 cover price hardcovers. However, you know, I'm thinking about space these days. I have a whole wall of boxes, so I'm not really going after hardcovers I don't think I'm going to read, even if they are probably easily flip for making money back tenfold. But yeah, I just thought that was a pretty cover. My oh my. I still know what you did last summer. That was a time. So, I thought this was Ian Churchill, but that's Spinozian on inks, and I think Chris Bocciolo. Yeah, this one was kind of one of the low graders. It just needs to be flattened out a little bit. It's a little crunchy. The pages aren't lush. They have a little bit of a crackle to them, which I don't know what that is. I think that's weather. But this was a cool book when I was a kid. It was a $4 cover price. I remember just this book felt expensive to buy at the time, but it was such a big book. I think the collectible one now is the Spider-Man Unlimited. I think there's a first appearance, but Scott Lobdell, he was my favorite of the X-Men writers, and maybe Fabian Nicieza. I'll never know. Beautiful Storm. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cyclops has lost his visor. Everyone duck, because Cyclops cannot keep track of his visor. You see the professor chastising him. It's over there, dummy. Your visor is right over there by the destruction that you've reaped because you lost aforementioned visor. But this was just a cool book. There was probably X-Men Unlimited all the way up to issue 10. I remember this cover. If it's not an ill bill, shout out to Big Elbow Sienkiewicz. I don't know. I know his style gets simulated, but that just feels like the real deal. Bill Ill. Still in the deal. Nice run. I like that. I think both Psylocke and X-23 look happening on this cover. Jay Lee. This Jay Lee run, I'm pretty sure John Byrne was doing the Submariner book. But you wouldn't believe how many people it takes to ink Jay Lee. Palmiotti, Sienkiewicz, Sean McManus, Malcolm Jones, and Chris Ivey. You know you're a sick individual when it takes an army to ink your pencils. So I thought that was pretty cool. But they used all kinds of mixed media to create these crackle effects. That's not Kirby crackle, that's the Jay Lee kinetic eye, shadows of evil. I thought I was gonna maybe find a boatload of Punisher War Journal. That's the Punisher I've kind of decided to go after. I like the original series, and I'm a sucker for those war zones, but I think like I'm gonna probably focus on War Journal. Great John Romita Jr. cover. I didn't have anything to say about it, but yeah, just this one isolated issue 41, which I'm not sure if I even have. I guess I need to start walking around with a list of my journal books. I need to keep a journal of my war journals. Frank Miller drawing Predator. That's all. That's all I had to say about it. Dark Horse Heroes 18. Stephen Grant. What's Renaud's first name? Christopher Renaud. And of Archie fame, Andrew Pepoy. But that's, look at the technology. I knew he was going to have fun with the Predator's freckles. The dreads. That's cool. This whole time of Frank drawing everything in Sin City style was priceless to me. This is a precious era. Frank has continued to foreshorten and simplify his style down to what he's doing now. People think that he's lost it. They think he's had health problems, eye issues, doesn't like to be at the drawing board as much. I still think he could probably draw like this. He's just evolved into something else. I mean, you can't go and see the Rolling Stones and have them sing Dear Doctor and expect that Mick Jagger's going to do the little voice of the bride's letter in the song. No, he's probably going to do it a different way. But I just think Frank Miller is the greatest, man. I won't take anything away from him ever. So, $3.99. This is a Tony Fleeks cover. You can tell by the dowel. I don't really know anything about the artist. I didn't even bother to write them down. I didn't recognize any of the names. This book has a $5 cover price. $5. I wanted to get these so bad, but at $5 a pop, I just kind of decided I'm going to go for the creep shows. This one appealed to me. The Francavilla. There was like 20 of these, so I did my best to pick out a good one. I just love that bog cover. This guy's face down. Wow, there's multiples. What's this little guy eating? Nothing good. So these are my favorite finds. The first row of boxes closest to the direct sun, and I showed these to my compadre, and I said, man, if these are still in there, I'm hopeful. You know, these Rye books used to be, believe it or not, in 1992, these were selling for $90 a pop. That's how big Valiant was. But come on, these are just great. These are written by David Michelini And
What do
the
you mean
art
I don't
is
get a
by
song?
Joe St. Pierre. And I was just saying, man, I can't wait to keep digging. I just think that, man, these are my favorite finds of the day. I love these, man. And which one is it? This one is in beautiful shape. This one wasn't bad. But this one, man, this one right here is a very nice copy. And Ride 5. They had 6 and 7, the Unity tie-ins. But, man, I was just glad to get these ones right here. Those are my favorite finds. And it's a little bit more Valiant. Yeah, Jeff threw this one on the table. And I thought, yeah, I was hesitant. Because I do have this one and also in the gold.
Of people who don't want to be
Bart
cool.
Sears. This is just classic. Nice shape. Yeah, it's just a fine book. Cyberforce. Just Silvestri and Williams being completely 1990s and cool as hell. Oh, you saw my dirty little secret. Yeah, Ninjak 1. Casada. Mark Moretti. Yeah, this Max 1. That's always an insta buy for $1. At least one. If they had 10 of them, I wasn't gonna drop a dime on them, but I could do one copy. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, this was 1992, and the dialogue was done by William Messner Loebs, who did Wonder Woman. I think after Perez left. And these last ones are haunt books. I wish I had just started pulling these every time I saw a haunt book, because they were just scattered like Easter eggs throughout the boxes. Every box seemed to have an issue of haunt. Where if I had actually started pulling every time I saw one, I'd probably have a pretty good little run. So this was interesting. Kirkman was writing. Capullo was doing layouts. Ryan Otley was doing pencils, and then McFarlane was inking over that. That's issue 4. It's issue 3. So that was the work dynamic. So that just tells you how good Capullo was at just laying out a page. That was his capacity on this. I always like this Haunt character. There's a figure of him at Target that I just won't buy, but if it was cheaper, I'd probably get it. Good looking character. Issue 9 and issue 10. So yeah, thank you to the guys at Comics, Toons, and Toys for whenever they put these together. It's always a good show, or a good get together. No one's pushy. It's in a nice area, so you're not gonna get elbowed or you're not gonna get pushed to the side. If you're going through a box, it's chill, man. I really liked it. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks again for Jeff for coming out. That was cool, dude. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's a long video. I guess I just had so much to say about this sale, and I'm so excited about these books. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great one, and I'll see you when I put this out. All right, thanks for watching.
Who lives in a house like a